So the first question is, how did we get here? And by here, I mean we have an epidemic in the country as it pertains to addiction, specifically an opioid epidemic, and specifically to Kentucky. Kentucky's the ground zero for everything that's happening. What happened to get us to this point?
In my mind, we don't have an opioid problem. We have an addiction problem. And it's not new. It's actually old. And it goes back to the beginning of time. You can read in the Bible where Noah got off the ark and the first thing he did was grow some grapes and brew some wine and get drunk.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't blame him at all. But every culture has its own history of substance abuse. Every culture has its own sort of seeking of things that help us escape, and so that's not new. The opioid epidemic was declared such because the number of overdoses was dramatically increasing from opiates, and that's true. I mean, that's not a falsehood. It's not our first opioid epidemic. It's actually our second in the United States. The first one occurred back in the late 1800s, and I could give you the history of that, but it was the same thing. Opioids were taking over the country. The actual incidence was very similar to what it is now.
Is it with the introduction of opioids, addiction becomes more prevalent, and so overdose deaths become more prevalent? What's the connection with increase of opioids and the increase of overdose deaths?
So the root problem that we're experiencing, or the root problem that we did experience a few years ago, was that there was an overabundance of opiates available out in our community. And as it turns out, opiates you can die from. There's some irony in all of this, though, in that the efforts to cut down on the number of prescription pills that were in the market and the number of people that were being perceived as addicted to those prescription pills, the result is the government cracked down on that and said, look, doctors, you shouldn't be prescribing them. Medical societies started to question the licensure of doctors who were over-prescribing them. And the result was that the supply dramatically went down. Well, when the supply dramatically goes down, then the price goes up. And what do humans do when the price go up? They look for things that are cheaper. What was cheaper? Heroin. Heroin's been around for a long time. Heroin is available and it's cheap and it's deadly. And so the overdose rates were actually brought on by the government's effort to control the supply of opiates.
Hey everybody, we hope that you liked that video. If you'd like more information about Recovering Me, our online recovery courses, or Stepworks recovery centers, check out the links below. Thanks for watching.